Hermanus, your guide to the world's finest shore-based whale watching. Whales have become newly symbolic of real values in a world environment of which man is newly aware. Victor Blanchard Sheffer. Every year, somewhere between July and November, the atmosphere in the usually quiet coastal town of Hermanus begins to come alive, as the southern right whales return to Walker Bay. They arrive in close, breathtakingly close, and the whole coastline seems to hold its breath while every eye is on the lookout for the first sign of these gentle and majestic creatures. If you love the great outdoors, and if you want to see one of nature's most intimate spectacles from a place of utter beauty and luxury, going whale watching in Hermanus should be your next holiday in Africa. Which month is best for whales in Hermanus? The southern right whales arrive in Walker Bay from around late June, drawn by the calm, sheltered waters to nurse their calves and to rest. Hermanus whale watching season peaks between August and October, when sightings are at their most frequent and the whales are often at their most playful. From November, the whale sightings come to an end, as they begin their return to their usual Antarctic feeding grounds. For the most extraordinary experience in Hermanus, you should plan your visit for September. The weather along the Overberg coast is just starting to warm up after the cold, wet, and blustery winter. The wildflowers are beginning to bloom, and the bay is full of activity. Weekday trips to Hermanus are ideal if you want a quieter holiday, and there's nothing like feeling as though you have this remarkable place almost to yourself. Which time of day is best for whale watching in Hermanus? The early morning hours are widely considered the finest time for whale watching in Hermanus. The sea tends to be calmer, the light is softer and more beautiful, perfect for photography, and the bay itself has very few visitors. Whales are more active at the surface of the ocean during these quieter hours, so you'll be treated to some truly breathtaking sightings along the Hermanus cliff path. That said, the wonderful thing about Hermanus is that whale sightings can happen at almost any hour of the day. Staying somewhere like Birkenhead House, where the ocean is visible from your room in the main deck, means you are never far from the possibility of a spontaneous and extraordinary encounter. Throughout your time in the town, you'll want to keep the binoculars close and keep your eyes on the ocean throughout the day. How to watch the whales in Hermanus. Hermanus holds the rare distinction of being one of the few and best land-based whale-watching destinations in the world, and the town's famous cliff path is where you'll have some of the best sightings. Stretching for around 12 kilometers along the rocky coastline, the cliff path winds past the old harbor, through the village, and out to the bay. When you are on the path, you should have a good pair of binoculars, find a perch on the rocks, and simply wait. The town also has a whale crier, and it is a wonderful local tradition. He roams the streets with a kelp horn, announcing sightings and their locations throughout Hermanus. It is fun, genuinely useful, and entirely unique to this corner of the world. For those who prefer to be out on the water, small group boat tours depart from the new harbor, and being on board will give you a different perspective entirely. These are laid-back experiences, and the operators take great care to follow responsible whale-watching guidelines, while also trying their best to give you an incredible experience. Where to stay in Hermanus? For those who wish to experience Hermanus whale watching in the most refined setting imaginable, Birkenhead House is in a category of luxury entirely of its own. Perched high above the ocean with uninterrupted views over Walker Bay, this exquisite boutique hotel will give you a front-row seat to one of nature's greatest shows without ever needing to leave the comfort of your suite. From the main deck at Birkenhead House, pods of dolphins splash playfully within view, while southern right and humpback whales drift past, leaving telltale spouts of mist as they exhale from their blowholes along the way. Between July and December, the peak of Hermanus whale watching season, guests staying at Birkenhead House watch as these gentle creatures breach the ocean's surface and land with a great crash. On rare and really lucky occasions, Bryde's whales can also be spotted from this vantage point. With a telescope in the main sitting room and numerous sets of binoculars available, every guest at Birkenhead House can appreciate these fascinating creatures in beautiful detail. It is the kind of generous hospitality that makes the Hermanus whale watching experience feel extra special. Is whale watching in Hermanus worth it? Without question, especially as Hermanus is widely considered to be one of the finest whale-watching destinations on the planet, and a visit during the peak season leaves very little doubt as to why. The southern right whales come close to shore, which makes sightings in Hermanus more accessible than they are in most other whale-watching places. Aside from abundant whale-watching, Hermanus is a place of real beauty. The coastline is pristine and beautiful, a wonderful place for a hike. The surrounding Overberg countryside is just lovely, and the town is full of character, having a bit of a reputation for being artistic and eclectic. Do you get wet on whale-watching tours in Hermanus? The cliff path brings you close to the ocean, and the whales come close to shore. But when whale watching on land, you will stay perfectly dry. If you choose a boat-based whale watching tour, however, a light spray is always possible, particularly on breezier days. Most operators provide guidance on what to wear, and a light waterproof layer is a must if you want to be on the dry side. That said, boat tours in Hermanus are generally calm and well managed, and the closeness you feel to the whales from the water is something rather special in its own right. For the most beautifully sheltered experience, watching from a private deck such as the one at Birkenhead House will give you all the wonder of Hermanus whale watching, with every luxury comfort close at hand. What else to do in Hermanus? Most people travel to Hermanus to see the whales, but the town itself and its surrounds has plenty of exciting things to see and do. The Hemel-en-Aarde Valley, just a short drive from Hermanus, is home to some of South Africa's most acclaimed cool climate wines. The valley produces exceptional Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, and you can spend the whole day exploring the estate and learning more about how the wines are made. A long, slow afternoon moving between cellars is one of the great pleasures of any visit to Hermanus. The Fernkloof Nature Reserve has stunning hiking trails that will take you through swathes of beautiful fynbos while treating you to sweeping views over Walker Bay. The reserve is particularly worth visiting when the proteas and ericas are in full bloom, and the bird life is extraordinary. The town of Hermanus itself is just a lovely place to spend time. There's a weekly market, independent boutiques, art galleries tucked along the main street, all sorts of cafes, and there is a warmth and creativity here that is authentic rather than manufactured for visitors. You should book your accommodation early if you are traveling in September or October, as Hermanus fills up completely during peak whale season, and the most sought-after properties are often reserved months in advance. And finally, allow yourself more time in Hermanus than you think you need. This beautiful town has a way of slowing everything down in the most gentle, welcome way. The whales are only part of it. African Travel Concept specializes in creating bespoke luxury itineraries across South Africa. If you would like to include Hermanus as part of a wider Western Cape journey, we would love to help you design the perfect experience.